Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sketches at Midnight. This is me, Robbie, here working on stuff. Stuff can't really talk about right now, but I'm working on it anyway. So maybe Brandon will join in, maybe he won't. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, let's get to work. I'm using a Cintiq Giant. I am using a Cintiq. So it's like a tablet. It's like a monitor you can draw on. And then I'll be printing this out and manually drawing all the details and stuff. So I'm just sort of blocking in the kind of shapes that I want. Yeah, I don't know about any of that. I don't know about any of that. Is there a way to like audio chat? Not really. The only other thing I've been able to do is turn on like YouNow and have it kind of like streaming off a separate computer, but voice chat and stuff, not really. Um, I could add you if you add me as friends. I could add you and invite you if you want to chat for a bit about art and stuff. That I could do. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Could always chat about movies or something. You know what I mean? That's what it's there for. Oh, nice. Peace. Thanks for hanging out. Yay, San Diego. Trying to transfer this file over. Dropbox decides to sync when Dropbox wants to. I don't have my printer installed on this PC yet. So I'll just have to email it to myself. Open. Send. Okay.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what up? One sec.
Yep.
All right.
All right. What are you working on?
Game cave related materials.
Nice. I like the silhouette.
Yeah, well, better just to draw it out on paper than to overthink it digitally,
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I sound like a dick, sometimes I don't.
Fucking Danny
He was
Tanner.
being fine. I'm not gonna pick on him. He was being he put a LOL in there, so he wasn't trying to be like,
All right.
dude, you're fucking,
I
I guess.
mean,
Huh?
you could definitely,
Come on, just let me know. I sound kind of like a dick.
no, you definitely you could bring the vibe down real quick. Uh,
Not at
but
work. Look,
yeah,
look. I'm in the comfort of. I think what people forget, what I think I'd like to try and reiterate here on the stream is I'm in my room. My domicile. You're one of the few people, Brandon, that has ever come on the stream that's actually worked with me at a place of employment before, right?
right.
I'm not a downer at work, right? Matter of
No,
fact, I don't even fucking talk much. Like,
no, you
you
didn't
know,
even. Only time you talked is when I would ask you a question.
yeah. I mean, I'll come in. Good morning. How you doing? Make some jokes, and then I go to work.
Yeah.
Like that's it. And like, what do you need? Oh, you need this. You need that. You need this. And the work gets done. So I think the thing that I've been thinking about this. I think
Give you a complex.
Huh? Well, no, I like to self check because I've been feeling like sometimes when I'm on the stream and I'm talking, I feel like I'm annoyed,
Uh,
and I think what people like when I listen to Stern, right? The guy talks for 4 hours, so I started like adding the hours up that I do when I'm here. I'm drawing anywhere between 2 and 6 hours, which means that could be 4 hour, 5 hours of chatting.
right.
I'm doing that while I'm drawing. Like I can't describe to people how incredibly complex that can get sometimes. You know, how many artists do you know are working on their professional work and just shooting the shit all fucking day?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so sometimes when I come across dickish or annoyed, I think that's just because there are parts of my head that are conflicting. You know what I mean?
I think what people don't get also, and I was talking to Jessica about this when we were eating dinner, is uh, you're in work mode. So when you get frustrated or sound frustrated, it's because you're trying to work out something on paper or on the art process, and you're getting frustrated with the fact that you're not solving it at that moment. So it's hard, I think, for you to be like, okay, this hand's fucked up. I got to fix this hand, and then me or someone be like, "Hey, did you see the Star Wars trailer?" And you're like, "Yeah, that's fine, but I got to fix this fucking hand, otherwise
I
everyone's
mean,
gonna
there's a
think
bit
I'm
of it. I
fucking
think I think it's
underhanded."
sort of a bit of both. It's like like I turned the stream on because it's double-edged sword. I like to chat.
Uh-huh.
I like to keep a
Oh yeah,
record of what I'm doing. Um, I don't know if I always have to fucking agree with everything. And I get like recently with Joey because he's so young, like it's all about like all the new shit, right? Getting jobs, making contacts, starting a career, and I would say I'm like in the middle of mine, and mine sucks. It's like a Chargers game, like it's
I would
like
definitely say you're the seasoned veteran, and you got these rookies around. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna be the All-Star MVP, best ever. And you've been in the league for a while, and you're like, all right, just pace yourself. It's a long
I
career.
I hope I hope everyone's more successful than I am, dude. You know what I mean? Like honestly, I don't want anyone to go through the. I don't want anyone to produce a bunch of work and just have it just deleted. You know what I mean? And not count and never get paid. I don't want anyone to go through that. I wish. I feel like sometimes I feel like Morgan Freeman, in Shawshank. I could just go back and talk to that young Rob and tell him, don't fucking ever go to art school. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, don't stop trying. Stay away from game magazines. So I don't know, man. Like if part of that's I guy said I was jaded, but I don't know. To me, jaded is you don't want to go on. It's fruitless, right?
Right.
Like
Or you would tell people to never make art.
like don't do anything. It's pointless. It's all like that. I'm not a downer, dude. I'm just like I'm skeptical at this point.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical of when people come out and tell me that they're gonna help me solve my problems
Well,
because I
it's
just.
well, it's real. It's people don't want to hear the honesty. People want to hear, yeah, go to art school and you'll get a great career and you'll do great. Well, my wife's got $40,000 in debt. Meanwhile, we transfer her over some files on how to do the shit, and now she's actually doing more than she did before.
Yeah, that hurts, right?
You know, so
That I've helped your wife learn more in a week than she did at 3 years at AI.
right. But it's hey, man. I mean, knocking it. It's just you take what.
Right.
Here's
Well, I think too it comes back, man. I just want to get back. Like it comes back to like the when we did the podcast, I can be incredibly like pumped up and excited for 20, 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah, 3 fucking hours, dude. Like, it's like really, man, really, you like the clone troopers? You know what I mean? Why? Plus, I don't think I'm right. I just believe in what I say.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, it's like for lack of better terms, maybe a politician or something where they may not be right to everyone, but they believe
well,
they
I
think
think
their shit.
politicians just say whatever you want to hear. I think that I'm doing the opposite.
I
Some way.
mean, with having the conviction in your words where you believe it to your core, whether it's right or wrong, you're still going to say your opinion.
Right. Plus, I don't know where else to vent. Like, it's the craziest effing thing. Like I kept a lot of this to myself for the many years. Sometimes on the podcast here and there. Then you see these things where it's like, well, if you ever put out, I'm switching to the camera. If you ever put out, your experience at places on the internet, that's going to keep you from getting a job somewhere. And I'm like, well, what experiences should I not talk about? One second, I gotta switch. Because I'll never blast a company specifically, but if I can't say, hey, I had this experience once somewhere, you know what I mean? Like that makes me like a fucking negative Nancy, or negative Ned. I know it's not gender bend here. Um, it's like then F the industry, dude. Like no offense, you know what I mean? Like I just believe. I believe like there's this. How do I describe it? Let me get a piece of paper. So sometimes it's better to illustrate. I get there. Can the internet see this little thing? This maybe this helps. Like let me show you. This is how I think like my career has worked out, right? And how it is for a lot of people is like 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 right. This is how much gold there is out there, right? Happiness, career-wise, fulfilling projects, fame, fortune, whatever, right? And and like you start down here,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And and you got to get through all this shit, you know? And some people do it faster than others, you know?
Right.
Like that's really that way. And the question, right, isn't, you know, can you do it? Because I think anyone can do it. The question is, you know, what are you gonna do while you're here?
Right.
You know what I mean? What are you gonna do while you're here? Because like when I was a game fan, let's say this is the totality of my career, and maybe I'm 50, I'll have some of that. It means I'm here. That means somewhere between here and here, I was living off donuts and not paying student loans, and I couldn't afford oranges. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and that's a real story. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll tell it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not bitter about it. That's what happened. Uh, Now I'm like here where I got to deal with like this weird situation, man, where if I draw fan art, I'm a thief. If I work for companies that produce licensed images for companies for the same people I was doing fan art from originally, those people want me to steal from the fan art, which makes me a thief. Now I don't. that that I don't know how to deal with some days, Brandon. Like I don't know how to deal with that. You know, I don't know how to deal with it. You know, so I make Game Cave, move on. You know, and then I got these other companies harassing me when I go get a job somewhere. You know, because I took a video of me drawing something. You know, it's fucking ridiculous. But hey, you know, I'll be really positive about it. You know, the laugh doesn't help. I think that
No, no, you got a very
it's the most
snarky.
insincere laugh ever. Like- Whatever.
Yeah, that little yeah, that doesn't even that makes it worse. That just worse.
I tell the story a million days, man. I couldn't beat anybody up growing up. I was not the strongest person by any measure, but I could hurt them with words. So this is all I've got. Like this, this, this personality. This is all I got. This is how I deal with things. You know.
Which I think a lot of artists are like that. You know, you that's why we draw. You know, to get out of our problems. You know, the real world, and then once to get more put down, it's like, well, we'll use our words. We're creative, and then we realize we're good at that, and then we just stay in that shit talk mode.
I suppose I'm not much of a shit talker though. Like you've
Ah,
been there. Now I'm not. I'll give my opinion. That's not shit talker. I don't go, hey man. See, here to me is what a shit talker is. Dude, did you fucking see what Jim Lee did? He fucked up that one hand, motherfucker. Ha ha ha. He's not so. You know what I mean? Like that's just
right.
ridiculous, dude. That's shit talking. You know, like fucking Rob Liefeld just totally taking ownership of Deadpool is fucking hilarious. It's not shit talking. That's fucking funny. You
Right.
know? Like, I don't know, man. You know, can't shit talk companies, dude.
Or at least the version that's being made in the movie. Like that's not his. That's not the X Force
Yeah, but it's
original.
so Liefeld for him to do it. You know what I mean? It's awesome. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
right?
that's so Liefeld.
Yeah, it's so Liefeld of him to do that. Like that. If he didn't do that, I'd almost feel let down. Like,
uh, that's so Liefeld. You don't know me.
so you know, I mean, I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't go. I
I
don't have very destructive lifestyle. I just have these words, and
right,
it can get me
and
into trouble.
I think yeah. Well, I think what how people see it, you and also me, because me and you get along because similarities, but it's people don't want to hear the honest truth. It's like when for a while I didn't want to hear the truth about my art, so it was like, and then finally it's like, well, you got to accept it. So people don't want to hear the truth because it fucking sucks. But me and you, we're honest with people, and then we look. Some people, say I'm an asshole, but it's like, they don't like me. It's like, why? I say what I think is the truth and what
Yeah,
I
but I
know
don't
to be
think I'm
true.
being rude. I just think that, at the end of the day, like my response to it was like, well, when you're honest, that's the risk you take. And that's how I feel about it. It's like, if I'm going to give you an honest answer, I run the risk of coming across in a way that's truthfully, it's truth. It's not like, look, I was just putting on shtick. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, no, look, if I came across that way, at least, hey, I was honestly coming across that way. There's not much I can do about that. I don't know a person who who you know is able to portray themselves in like a Santa Claus like manner all the fucking time. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And that be legit. Like I know this guy. I'm not gonna say his name. You don't know him. He has to be the nicest guy I've ever met. Generally a sweet individual, always taking care of everything you have. I was like, dude, and I was hanging out. It was me and this my buddy, and this was his friend. He introduced me to him, right? And I was like, man, dude, so and so is like, he's just like the nicest guy I've ever met. Like, it questioned my existence. I was like, damn, I just know I'm not that nice. Like,
Right.
like, and as I was hanging out with my friend, I'm like, afterward, I was like, dude, that was like the nicest guy I've ever met, man. He's so awesome. He's like, yeah, dude, his father was like used to beat him, and he almost committed suicide 18 times. I was like, whoa, like I was like, what? He's like, yeah, he had fucking meth problems. He's cleaned his life up. And I was just like, I don't want to go through that much shit to be that nice. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like, like the guy is genuinely a great person now, but I'm like, I can't go through all of that. If that's what it takes to be that nice, then fuck it. Like, uh, because I think I'm nice to my friends, but the trade off is you got to hear my fucking opinion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I'm
That's
here to help, but you got to
it's
hear this. This is
yeah.
this I exact a toll. You know.
It's hand in hand. It's
Yeah.
it's like it's like boxing. You're gonna get your ass kicked by your trainer, but in the end, you're gonna be a better boxer. Oh, that made me laugh.
Yeah, well, it's like I've said, dude. The difference between Yoda and Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was like a father, and the Yoda was a sensei. And a sensei is totally cool with you going out there and getting your hand lopped off so you can crawl back and admit defeat. I'm cool with that. I'll warn you. I'm not
Right.
gonna let you go there and be like, hey, I'm not gonna be like, don't go. Hey, I totally knew that was gonna fucking happen. Ha ha ha. You know, it's like, hey, if you do that, you're gonna get your hand lopped off. All right, well, have fun. See you in fucking 6 months. Come back. How's that hand? Robot, right? Yeah. Robot hand. I thought so. Don't even feel sorry about it. Hey, use the force with your left hand. Oh, you can't, because it's a robot hand.
I didn't think about that.
Oh, you never thought he never
Yeah.
was able to reach out with that robot hand again. You ever realize that? I wonder if they'll deal with that in the Force Awakens. Because they do focus on the robot hand.
Yeah, they show it without the skin on it in the
Yeah, it'd be
beginning.
great to see if they deal with that.
Or I mean, yeah, even anything, just like it still hurts. It hurts when it's cold or some shit.
I don't know. Anything besides I wish I could just wish my feelings away. Sorry, I'm never gonna be nice about the prequels. You know, it's not gonna do it. I like Liam Neeson's performance. There you go. And Ray Park. That's it. John Williams showed up, did his job properly. Except for that guitar riff in Attack of the Clones. I don't know what the hell. Guitars do not belong in the soundtracks of Star Wars films.
One thing, like that, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I mean, I like certain aspects and ideas of it, the whole samurai stuff. But one thing I never understood was in that first one, the episode one, where they run super fast, like insanely fast down the hallways and shit, and then that was never done again.
Because it's ridiculous how fast they ran.
It was like they were the Flash, and they were zoom zoom down the hallways and through the vents, and I'm like,
And then at the end of the movie, he couldn't run, right?
it just makes no sense to
Remember
me.
at the end of the movie when he was running, no
Yeah,
super run? And they tried to say, well, the whole time he'd been fighting, so they were exerting their force. I was like, oh, shut up. You know what? They got power meters now.
right.
Is he a level 32C Jedi? And that's a, you know,
I just, I mean, I don't know why, but that bugged me. I was like, why are they moving so fast? But that's just me picking. But
like, why couldn't they just shove the fucking robots away? The force field's great, but they could shove stuff, right? Okay, force field, no, just shove it up. I mean, you know what I mean?
roll them like a ball with the
Yeah.
force.
I mean, so yeah, well, it starts a bitter, angry thing. It brings out the worst of me.
All right.
I'm definitely gonna stop talking about fucking being an artist. I no longer care. I just feel bad because he's always like, Joey's awesome. He's like, hey, you know this artist? I'm like, no. You know this guy? No, not really.
I don't
What
think
about
I've
that
ever.
guy? I don't really. You know,
I don't think I've ever talked to Joey. Maybe.
he's cool, man. The kid's got a future in him. I like him. Um, he's certainly more talented at his age than I was. You know, and but I just don't know these people. I wish I did. You know, but I don't. I made this concerted effort years ago to stop trying to track every artist, because like I just can't do it anymore. I'm not, and I'm afraid of inadvertently plagiarizing. You know, when you start producing work, you gotta be very careful. Unless you're a guy who's like, I'm just gonna be Joe Mad, you know.
Right.
And there are a few of those, and they're doing well. Like, I'm just gonna be Joe Mad now. That's my job, Joe Mad guy. You know, I had this deluded dream once when I was 1993. I remember it was when I was reading the Return of Superman saga, and Superman comes back and defeats Mogul. I know this shit, right? Because I read it, and I kept thinking, man, I hate Dan Jurgens' art. Just hate it. Just hate it. If Eric Larson drew this shit, it'd be way better. So I thought I'm gonna be the Eric Larson of DC Comics. Didn't work out, But I had this whole plan, becoming the next Eric Larson. Then Eric Larson changed his art. Although I gotta give him credit, I was looking at his Twitter the other day. Someone asked him when he was gonna go to this con. He's like, just as soon as they fucking pay my airfare, because I'm not flying my own ass out there. He's like, I'm not paying all that. Go to some
Right.
con. So it's good to know that even Eric Larson doesn't get free airfare. Oh, I accidentally deleted that. Well, that makes sense. I should have just fucking become the next Mike Mignola. Or if a guy dies. Like I don't think Kevin Smith's ever gonna put up that fourth part of the Trank interview, man.
No, probably not.
I'm let down. I wanted to listen to it. We just got to the good part, and the movie came out. You know, I even twittered him about it. Like, hey, you gonna put that up, dude? Yeah. I was like, it's totally helpful. It humanizes. I'm really enjoying the story.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was totally trying to. Shh, shh, it's awesome. Like, it's helping. I do feel sorry for that dude. You know, but at least he's not gonna. At least we don't have to deal with. I mean, the guy. I mean, the guy's just not a writer. It's like I like Zack Snyder, but you know what I mean.
Mm.
He never should have been writing Sucker Punch,
Yeah, bad story, great visuals.
Right?
Yeah, I just see it as like a really good music video, Sucker Punch. Like, it's just a bunch of cool visuals with a soundtrack. I always skip through the burlesque dogging story part. I'm just like, all right, skip. All right, cool, giant samurai fighting. So, since this Fantastic Four movie is bombing, think it'll go back to Marvel?
I don't know.
I mean, would they even want it at that point? I mean, I guess.
Well, yeah, they'll take their shit back, bro.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're gonna do anything with it. They'll take it back,
And then once they have it back, do they have to make a movie?
No, they don't have to do anything. It's theirs. And then what? And then who gets it? You know what I mean? Liefeld. Heroes Reborn, mother. Which, by the way, how do they get to make a TV show called Heroes Reborn, and Disney don't get to sue them on some? Given the DMCA nature of the universe,
That we're all about that now,
It's funny. This is all off. I hate character design.
Before I go to bed, I'll send you the Rev 1 of the world map.
Okay.
Of what Jessica's got done so far.
Yeah, what are you up to?
Doing all the wife duties.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much. Laundry, dinner, watching. It's cool though. She was just showing me today how she was making the rocks on the world map and stuff. So
She doing low poly?
I believe so. That's what it looked like.
What does low poly look like, Brandon?
Basically,
here comes the dick.
Low poly is it's basically like a silhouette. You know what?
It's like a what?
Without it being too detailed. Like so.
Huh?
It's I don't know. I don't do art.
It's like a silhouette.
Well, like when you think about it, like the rocks, okay, if it's a low poly boulder, it's gonna have maybe 3 dents coming out of it and not be super detailed where you can just paint over it and etc. You know what? It's late.
That's an interesting explanation. It's late.
It's late.
Get the fuck out of here with your bullshit excuses. It's late.
It's late for me.
Explain yourself, man of opinion.
Low poly is jaded 3D.
Jaded 3D. I hope he doesn't think I'm picking on him.
No.
I get like no real hate, so when I do get something, I'm like, have I just been in bad behavior? Like I take everything too far. You know that. Like if I got called into a room by a boss and it was like, dude, I remember at Kinko's once they called me in because I was clocking. I was getting there like an hour early and working, but like I would clock in like, a minute late, because I wasn't paying attention close to the clock in time. So you get a little fucking verbal warning, hey, just make sure you clock in. I stress over that. You know what I mean? Like, like I legitimately like, what? This is ridiculous. Like I just like at that point, like I mean, I start watching that clock tick down. Like, that's how I was raised. Like people just don't know, dude. Like my father was like straight A's could be A pluses. If it was A pluses, I had the fucking house could have been painted on Saturday. There was free time there. Like that's just how I am. So if I get a really good compliment, a really bad compliment, everything gets called into question. I hyper focus. That is how it is for me. And one guy once took like, you're just taking it too far. I'm like, that's what I do.
Yes.
I take it too far. Yeah. Taking it too far.
But see, like you said earlier, it goes hand in hand. So like right now, you're giving me shit about not knowing like the best way to describe what low poly is. But a month from now, when I'm making low poly designs enough to make badass worlds, I can't really say shit because it's like I would have known that before.
You still don't know what low poly is. Like, just say World of Warcraft, okay? When someone asks you what low poly is, just give them an example.
To me, low poly is structures that don't have super detail, but you still know what they are. So you could look at a low poly creature, character, building, and still know what it is without it having like insane details and curves and structure. I know what it
Or
is.
you could just say it's like World of Warcraft. You know how that looks? Yeah, it's low poly.
No, because that's what you want me to say. So I'm going to just give that.
Right, right. Well, the problem is someone less qualified than me that that you feel has more qualifications hasn't already told you this. So 6 months from now, someone else is going to tell you this, and you're going to be, this model in front of mine just told me it's like World of Warcraft. He's pretty right. I'm like, that's great. That's so awesome that they finally.
No, I'll give in. Maybe not tonight, but like in a week from now, and you're like, "What's low poly?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's World of Warcraft." But not at this moment. I'd rather be
defiant. Defiant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's quite what you're doing right now.
I'd rather come off as an idiot. I don't care.
Yeah. You call it defiant,
Fight the power.
Fight the power. Just trying to build these surface structures out.
Drop that beat.
Better be careful. It's probably some fucking. I'll get DMCA'd for doing it. And for real, man, you never know. Maybe that's some fucking beat out there that I have no idea about, and all of a sudden,
Right.
Like I don't think that's the spirit of DMCA, by the way. Like, don't think that's what they were trying to curb.
Does this creature have a name?
I'm still working on the names for the race. It's what happens is on the planet, these fucking robots drop all these spores for energy sources, and the spores mutate whatever creatures come in contact with in various different ways. And so one of these sort of racial types, this is one of them, and they merge with the machines to fight back, basically.
Gotcha.
But I haven't I'm just calling it Cthulhu dudes right now. Like I don't have the actual race names. I'm not like Tolkien where it's like, oh, I come up with the names. And, no, the names are the least important part. Like I'm more
Right.
concerned with getting the work done, and then I'll settle on the name. I mean, sometimes there's a name. Like I knew I was going to use Bombcat just because I like the name.
Hmm.
There was a girl I knew who used that as her handle. She was pretty cool. So, do 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 do. Fudge. Hmm.
So Mission Impossible is pretty badass.
Yeah, dude, it was a lot of fun, man. I'd say that and fucking Mad Max were my two favorite films this summer.
When's the is it the Man from Uncle? That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
When's that come out?
sometime this month. I only know because they played every trailer known to fucking man before the movie started. Remember when you used to go to IMAX and the movie just started?
Yeah.
Fuck, you know? Now every fucking film's coming on IMAX. I gotta sit through that shit. I just kept going like, oh, then they had the IMAX only trailer. I thought this has to be it, right? And it just kept going. Then the Star Wars trailer, and then the fucking Man from Uncle, and then the
Last time.
Zoolander,
Yeah.
and then this movie called The Revenant, which looked pretty cool. And then there's like the Everest, and then it just didn't stop.
I
You
think there
know,
was 6 or 7 trailers we went to the IMAX last time. I mean, it was they kept
it,
going.
that's why I get pissed off about Warner Brothers when they're like they get a fucking their butts all hurt because people leak their fucking advertisement. It's like, dude, I'm gonna have to sit through this thing. That's why I don't care too about leaking trailers. I'm like, guys, we know we're gonna have to sit through this shit 100 fucking times before the movie comes out. Like, are we really rushing the trailers? Or is it, we're gonna have to sit through this? Like, you should care that people want to see this now because they're probably not gonna want to see it months from now when you won't stop playing.
Did you never saw Ant Man, did you?
No,
No, we talked about it. Yeah, I haven't seen it either.
can
No
force
problem.
myself to sit through it in light of my recent situation, bro.
Right.
Mm.
Did did you ever watch John Wick?
Can't watch a puppy get killed, bro.
Well, it doesn't really.
Can't do it.
You just turn away for 30 seconds.
I know,
I mean, it's sad for like it
dude. I
doesn't.
have my limits. All
It's
right.
like it's in the first 2 minutes of the movie though.
Then hey, you know what? Not
If
gonna happen.
just skip to minute 5.
Can't do it.
Wow, it's a pretty good movie.
I
It's
have no
pretty.
doubt, but I
It's
can't. I can't do it, man.
it's got some good Keanu Reeves kicking ass action.
Yeah. So does the raid.
Yeah.
Have you seen the raid too?
Nope.
So there you go.
I'll have to I'll have to send you a crop version of John Wick. So it just starts right after the puppy scene. So it's just like you just him with the collar and no puppy.
Yeah, but I'll know.
But I mean, it's some good. It's some good. You killed my dog. I'm gonna get you. It's good. If I didn't have to go to bed for work soon, I'd watch it again. But are you watching season Rick and Morty?
Not yet. I will. Bro, that is like the best ever. So I'm not rushing. I'm like a little bit. I'm like a little bit like, oh, I don't know how much of this we're gonna get. I need to savor this. This is like
Right.
it's like a Hayao Miyazaki film. Like I haven't seen his recent one, The Wind Rises, because I'm like, I'm not gonna get another one. Don't want to rush through it. I will.
Well,
I've been busy with Game Cave, bro. To be perfectly honest, and getting the prints put together and figuring out the grad maps and then building this fucking thing, and you know what I mean. It's been a little busy, and I'm in the middle of like finishing up MasterChef All Stars from Australia. So I watch shows not from this country primarily. I will. I love Rick and Morty. And I know it's great because I saw the animatics from Comic Con and they were better than it. I mean, it was like fucking so good. I was like, oh, the animatics are genius. That's when you know. This shit is tedious. Wish I could just Jim Lee this shit.
right.
I wish I had that.
Squirt a little bit of black ink on your page, and then
Yeah, I wish I had all that Jim Lee talent. Wesley said I was weird because of the fucking theater comment. And people don't know. So I put this post on the Facebook and the Twitter. I'm like, look, I had this thing that I just noticed I was doing. I didn't intend to do it. I didn't even think about it, but I was noticing when I'm at the theater now, I'm constantly watch the movie, looking at the emergency exits. Watch the movie, look at the emergency exits, looking at the who's coming up the front. Watch the movie. I mean, like, dude, I can't exist like that. Like, you know? Like I every other fucking second I'm like glancing down just to make certain I'm not being attacked.
That's how it was when I don't know, maybe a year ago when the last shooting was, and me and Jessica went to go. Me and the missus went to the IMAX for the first time. Went to the movies after kind of settled down, maybe a couple weeks after or a month, and I was just, she's like, "What are you looking at?" I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You keep looking down, looking down." I'm like, "I'm looking at the exits and who I got to hurdle and get you out of here if something goes down." And I even told her, I was like, "Listen, if shit goes down, you just grab onto me and follow me." Just because I'd rather be prepared than not prepared, and it's fucked up that you have to even think about that. Like, oh, I gotta be prepared.
Yeah, I spent $50 to question whether I'm going to be alive in the next 2 hours.
Right.
Like, I don't know, guys. I don't know, man. One thing's for certain: I will never go to an opening weekend.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
No,
Like
no,
I'm done. Like I will never be at Star Wars opening weekend. And I think this is occurring more now because like watch movies start to do much better their second weekend. The minute that starts to be normal, you're finding out people aren't going to opening weekend, bro. You know?
Well, I mean, besides the lines and everything else, yeah, I told her, I was like, all these things always happen the first weekend, the first week. It's like you never hear like, oh, that movie was out for, second week, and then someone went in there when it was half the crowd, or you know. So I can wait. I can wait 5 days, 6 days. I waited months before it came out. I could wait longer.
I can wait till fucking home video. If if that's what it comes to, man.
Well, it's like I'm not gonna. I probably won't get to go money wise right now. Go see Mission Impossible, but I know once it's out, I'll buy it on Amazon Video so I can stream it from my TVs because I know it'll be that good. I know it'll be worth it. And I'll watch it a couple times, but or rent it or whatever. And I'd rather spend $8 to rent, $5-8 to rent it on my Xbox than the 40 at the theater, and then also be like you said, staring at the exits because then I'm not really enjoying it 100%.
Yeah, it is disconcerting to me. If that is the proper word. I don't know. I write, but I don't really know what the hell I try not to use big words.
Works for me.
It's disturbing, at the very least. And he's like, "You're weird." I'm like, "Dude, I'm weird. I don't think I'm the only one."
No.
You know, no one's just talking about this yet. Do 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 do. Oh man. Well, at least I'm getting this shit done.
Right.
Because I was supposed to be this far last week, but sometimes I get everything set up and I'm like, all right, now I need a break. I hit this shit hard in the beginning,
Mm.
You take a week back and then okay, you get into your rhythm. But all the major development on Game Cave is done, right? Is there anything I'm missing? For volume 1-1, like there's still
Right.
stuff for the other stuff, but that's it. Like there's no I gotta still figure out what uh, Pizza Pirates looks like, but and a couple of the other shops. But I'm gonna get to that when your girl lays out Marketville, and I'm gonna actually figure out where they're gonna go on that map. Yeah, that'll be cool. Yeah, that's been the trickier part, man. Like actually going, okay, how does this shit actually work? I wrote a bunch of shit on how it fits.
I just sent you the world map so you have
Where
it.
is my
before I forget. So bam.
Sorry, 1 second. All right. There.
Yeah, I'm here.
Brandon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, did you hit your mute button?
Mm-mm.
Brandon.
Can you hear me?
Brandon, can't hear you. My volume down? Hello? Oh, Brandon's off. Must have had to reboot or something. Let's get these tentacle things done.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
That's weird. It just all of a sudden just stopped working on the mic. I didn't hit mute or unplug or anything.
You got me.
Yeah. Just, I don't know. Sometimes things happen. How many of like, let's say for this kind of character, how many would you normally do, or would you just do like one?
There's just a
character?
one right now. Yeah.
Just one.
There'll be plenty in the future, but for the purposes of this, there's just one.
Gotcha.
You know, and this isn't the final like this is so early in the story that let's say if I were to do a book, the story I've planned out takes place like at least 100 years after this. So it might, their designs might, I could easily see them streamlining. You know,
Right.
so these are definitely more monstery right now with robot parts, but I could see it being more like Starship Troopers at some point. You know,
Gotcha.
where they sort of all sort of homogenize into one root form, and then there's monster appendages. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at some point they all team up, but right now they're still like warring with one another.
Star. No, I'm thinking about Star Wars. That comes out this Christmas, right?
Yep.
That's pretty wild. Like just to think about. Like I'm not
Well,
like
if Ford hadn't got his leg hurt, it would have been out already.
really.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out during May.
Oh wow.
Got pushed back because of that.
Was that during that little when he landed that plane, or was that before?
Before. I know, right? Busy year, you know.
Well, he doesn't. He was never really like a big. And those movies do a lot of action, so I mean, could they just put him in sitting down a lot?
Shut up. Like they need to escape, and he's like, "Hey, you know, just over this way, right?" Like he's just like,
He's already in the like,
right.
or just you know.
Okay,
Like
you go
if I
tell
got
him that. Yeah, you don't
if,
really do much anyway, so you don't need to fucking move or stand or nothing,
just
right?
over over this way, guys, and he's just at the
Mm.
cockpit, and then
Hmm.
they go somewhere, and he's already in the bar. He's like, "Yeah, hurry up! I already bought the first round." They're gonna kill him off anyways.
Don't know about that.
Somebody's got to go. And it's not gonna be Chewie.
They killed Chewie in the books,
Oh, I don't know.
blew him up,
Dang.
which apparently it never happened. So there you go.
The main chick in this movie is Luke Skywalker's daughter, right?
I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it.
I'm just saying from the trailer.
I don't know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it. That's the I don't want to know song.
Yeah.
Catch my drift?
I value our friendship, so that's why I stopped.
Yeah. If you value our friendship, you will stop right now.
I know better. So, how about that Jar Jar Binks?
Let's ask Michael Jackson.
Uh,
You know about that story, right? He wanted to play Jar Jar Binks.
really?
Really. Like he wanted the role. He just wanted to do it without CG. He wanted to do it in makeup. And so Lucas apparently one day brought the guy playing Jar Jar, Ahmed Best, to his concert. He's like, "Hey, no, this is Jar Jar," and Michael's like, "Oh." That's how he told him.
That's shitty. It's like bringing your new girlfriend around your old girlfriend.
Right. Well, that shows you who was in control. Who controlled that conversation? Yeah. Speaking of dickish moves.
Right.
Another bit of news this week. So the word is Affleck's getting 3 Batman movies.
3?
Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't it awesome? Apparently the word is they screened Batman v Superman at Warner's and it got a standing ovation.
Yeah, I saw the caption on one of those like clickbait type things where it's like, I was like,
It
oh,
came from Umberto.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
3, dang. Like they'll probably do the Red Hood.
He's got Jeff Jones writing, bro.
Yeah, he'll do a good job. He'll do a good job. He's fine. That's cool. I'm excited.
Yep. The definitive Jim Lee Batman. You know?
Yeah.
Frank Miller. It'd be cool if they did the Court of the Owls. God, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's like when they first announced Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, and me and you talked about it. We're like, he'll be fine. He's going to kick ass. And I'm telling people, I'm like, no one's going to care anymore about Christian Bale as Batman. They're like, no, no way. No, I'm like, listen, I'm like, this Batman is going to be so badass with Zack Snyder's directing. You're just going to be like, yeah, I like the Joker, but I didn't give a shit about the rest of it. You're going to be like, yeah, Heath Ledger was dope, but that Ben Affleck, he is Batman. That's how it's going to go. And now that he's got the Batman vs Superman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, and then three standalone Batman movies. Like shit, that's like 6 movies where he's Batman.
Right.
That's crazy. Like people are just gonna be like, yeah, he's Batman.
Just put him in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be cool. But different people like different things. I mean, you liked the look of Batman in the Christopher Nolan movies.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I know you didn't, because you're a moron. But who's picking? I mean that sincerely.
I just didn't like. I didn't like it. I don't know.
Like the turtles.
I just
like big pink lips on my turtles.
I
yes.
I didn't like the design.
Yes.
Of the new one.
Yeah, I love it. That's not what you said. I have the audio.
Yeah, I said there's certain aspects of it that I
like a big testicle, shaved head looking Splinter. Right.
That was
what you like.
That's wrong. No, that was horrible.
He looks like shaved balls.
He looks like a.
Should have called him Scroter.
He looks like one of those hairless cats. Those Sphinx cats. Like they just. Ugh.
Yeah, it's the worst.
They're like, we need him to look kind of Asian. Let's give him the little.
You know what it reminds me of? When the wrong artist gets on the book, and like, oh, they're gonna fuck up Splinter or Shredder. You just pray when you hear artists is on Turtles, just don't fuck up Splinter or Shredder, dude. You know, like if you hear Joe Mad's drawing it, I might I know he's gonna draw the Turtles, but I hope he doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, because you don't want to see him with it.
Yeah.
And then Splinter shows up and he's like a steroid. You know what I mean? Like,
fucking just giant.
Like, it's too much, guys. Like it's too much.
I don't know. I liked everything else though. I liked. I mean, director wise, like, he kicked ass. I mean, it was an amazing movie.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
No, I'm talking about Nolan.
Oh, okay. All right.
Batman's, yeah. I mean, the second one was by far one of the best movies I've ever seen. Just all around amazing. I mean, it just the imagery in there, like when I didn't tell you this because it just happened last night. I didn't tell you earlier today, but I was driving down the freeway home last night around, I don't know, almost 1 o'clock. It was like midnight or something, and there was a car fully on fire on the freeway, like just sitting there, engulfed in flames, this black smoke coming out, and it was creepy because the cop car just pulled up, and I don't see anyone standing around. So that means they either took off or they were inside. I don't know, but it was creepy driving down the freeway, no one else there, and there's just a car on fire, and it made me think of that fire truck scene where the fire truck's on fire in the Batman movie, where it's just so creepy seeing no one else around in a city and just a car fully on fire. And the guy I was getting right home with, he's like, dude, that was weird. I was like, right? He goes, I thought that shit only happened in movies where the car's just abandoned on fire.
Oh, I've been to that twice.
Yeah, that was just it was crazy to see.
No, I like the look of him in the Nolan movies. I don't like the look of him in Batman Forever.
What about Batman And Robin, you gotta have those nipples. You gotta have
We
those
don't
bad.
even count. That doesn't count.
You gotta have
That's
those
like
bad skates. That's like a parody. It's just a
it's
parody.
like a parody.
It is a parody.
Like a parody. I mean, look, he almost cast I mean, well, Tim Burton almost cast Marlon Wayne as Robin in Batman Returns. I mean, that's almost a Wayans parody. If he had continued that, like that would have, you know. I thought I knew what you saved, the day last summer bullshit. Superhero Bat movie nonsense. Shung, shink, shunk, shung, shunk, shung with the endless picking up batarangs and booties and nipples. And
Really fat Banes. Freeze.
this is the sound of the icy cold that chills through your heart.
That was too good. You're gonna get.
Yeah, no, believe me, I know.
You're
Like,
gonna get
because I
hit with.
sat in the theater just loving the pain everyone was feeling. You know, this is the sound of the icy cold chill run through your heart. You're just like, oh shit, they're fucking it up.
But they really didn't. They were really trying. That's the worst part. Where it's like they're like, yeah, they're eating frozen dinners for dinner.
Right, because they live in
Fans
an
are
ice cave and they're wearing ice skates and they're eating
fans are gonna
frozen
love it. Fans will love this part.
and they're watching cartoons. It's funny. It's big funny time. Hey man, at least Chris O'Donnell got to kiss Uma Thurman. Gotta give him credit. He got paid for that. Did you go mute or something?
No, I'm here. I was just setting my alarm in the morning. She wasn't a bad Poison Ivy. I just
No, she's not a bad actress, but that was not a
right.
very good movie or role. No, but she's still just a very pretty woman. It's not. I'm not gonna go. She's hot. That's so juvenile. The woman.
Right.
Uma,
She's
Uma has it, bro.
yeah. She wasn't in my eyes like sexy, but she had that like she's badass. It's like in Kill Bill. She's just a badass. I don't know. Same with like Anne Hathaway. Like she's pretty. She's not my type, but she's cool. Like you're like, yeah, she's cool.
Hey, Steven, how you doing? Steven Doe says I. He's a regular.
Oh, nice. I had a. Let me check here. I had a guy hit me up named Marcus, and he was like, he just saying how he misses hearing me and you stream. He's like, "Are you guys still streaming?" I go, "Yeah, well, we different schedules with how everything's played out lately, and you know, the wife using the computer so much for doing stuff for you."
Yeah, but you could stream on your phone, bro.
On this.
Yeah, you can stream on a phone, man. Shit, I think you could stream on my Chromebook at the very least, because it's Google, you know.
Uh-huh.
So she's not using the internet.
Huh.
So if you can't, but I mean, like, we'll get you. I mean, yeah, I don't think that computer can stream well, but I think you could stream off the Chromebook.
All right. But
Yeah.
it's just cool to someone to say, missing that. He's like, yeah, I'm just missing that good old Brandon and Rob banter. Polite way of saying, I miss
You
it.
don't
We chat
fucking
shit.
yeah. Well, that's your excuse now. Did you tell him how there was those months where you just weren't doing anything? I'd hit you up and you'd be like, I never got that, liar.
Because you have to. I don't. I never got
Mm-hmm,
it from my phone.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just like tonight, you text me, said, hey, I sent an invite. I see it on my phone.
Yeah, it took an hour.
It took. I didn't see it for another 20 minutes after you sent it because we were eating a late dinner, but. And then the
L Gamer says he's here as always. Yeah, see, they're here. Why? But you're not here, Brandon. The fans put in the time. Brandon just has excuses.
Brandon's 30 and he has to get up to a.
Brandon's 30.
He's got to get up to a physical labor job in the morning. That
Physical labor job. I feel so sorry you haven't used your brains enough to get you out of that. You're a smart guy, you know?
Nah, I'm a big dummy.
I know, but if I say that, then I'm just being a dick. I'm trying not to. I can't do it. I can't. I really relate to all the superheroes to V, the most. V's a good guy. He's like, he blames everyone and himself. It's all our fault. We all deserve to die. We did this to ourselves, So, yeah. It's not comforting. No. Brandon's a slacker. The fans have spoken.
Yes, Brandon is a big slacker. Hate that guy. But Lead Heavy, he's cool.
She is. I never thought it'd be a her with the word heavy. It's a little unfair to her. We have to rethink that name now.
She has her own.
Lead Savvy.
She's got her own art page and her own art name.
Oh yeah, you guys got to work that out.
She's got her own. She mostly posts her crochet and stuff on her art.
Yeah, that's not. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that. Crochet. That's what Etsy's for, man. Pinterest. Oh, nice, dude.
You guys are mean.
Girl's got so much talent. I don't want to talk about the crocheting.
I don't mind hopping on from 9 to 11. That's perfect for me. It's just I couldn't do those for a while there when you were doing it till 2 a.m. and I was staying up and then getting up at 6, 7 o'clock for work. And then going to deliver furniture. I was like, yeah, 5 hours just wasn't cutting it for my old body.
Well, I'm on like I told you, 9 to 12 when I go to bed.
Right. So that's good now, but I'll hop on more. Brandon's lazy. But at least he's not jaded.
Fucking Batman's jaded. That's why he's Batman. I always tell people, you don't have to freaking like this job, You just got to get it done. That's about the end of it, Yeah, I saw it. It's like some Naruto stuff or something, right? Looks cool. Making this shit up as I go along.
Looks cool.
I guess. Smooth it out in the painting.
You like how the Mikey turned out?
The what?
Did you like how your Michelangelo turned out?
Yeah, it's fine.
I like the background with the cracked windows and everything.
Oh. Yeah, I tried to add something back there, you know. So it's not just, yeah, whatever. Yeah.
All right. So with that new style of the painting, you just have Raphael and Mikey done, right?
Leonardo.
Oh, you did Leonardo. Let me look here. Oh, that's right. Leonardo.
I'll get Donatello done between tomorrow and Tuesday. Probably tomorrow. I gotta move a little quicker. Got a little caught up on GameCube shit. And I had some resume stuff to deal with last week. So when I get done doing that, I have a headache, and then I'm like, I'll just work on GameCube. Which feels more like an excuse to not actually work, but
Still getting stuff done.
there's just been a lot of like little, like the grad maps. Like there's been a lot of little things, like, you know, that I haven't done yet. Like I'll design the city, you know, like that's, I guess that means something when you just say I'm gonna design something, but I'm like, I actually have to, like, I actually have to work this out, you know. Um, don't know about this. Hate that. Oh, nice. Maybe more like that.
And I got a nice hello from Steven. He's watching you draw right now.
Yeah, it's the same guy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, show me a drawing. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool, Steven.
Speaking of drawing, how long is it gonna take you to get that Bucky done? 2 months. How long will it take? Draw Bucky.
You know, it's like
Too busy painting my other friend's art.
no, that was last week.
Too busy painting my other friend's art. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was for a good cause and a good thing.
Also for a good cause. That's what I tell myself. Uh-huh.
I'm done.
I'm just curious, how long?
I don't know.
See, you've given up.
No, I'm just gonna tell her tomorrow night.
You got into the weeds. You got into the weeds. It became work, and then you quit.
No, I didn't quit. I'm just gonna tell her like tomorrow that computer's mine for the day. I'm gonna work on it. It's just she's been using the computer doing all that stuff, and it's just.
I told you that was going to happen.
Yeah.
How many months ago? You said 3 weeks, right?
I don't. Maybe.
Before she comes down or whatever.
Yeah, I got it. She's figured. She was texting her mom today, trying to figure it all out.
If it's 3 weeks, don't deal with it. What you should be doing is we can work on some other stuff. Like, you don't. Do you have a printer?
Yeah.
Or a light box?
I have a printer, but it's not a flat roller. It's the.
You have a light box?
No, remember we were talking
Fucking
about that last
cheap
week.
bastard. He's just making it difficult. Because I was like, we'd at least start grabbing stuff other people have drawn and having you working on your painting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But without a light box, that makes things incredibly difficult. Maybe instead of spending all that money on Grant Morrison signatures, you could have bought a light box.
Right. If I would have known, 3 years ago, I would have needed a light box.
Yeah. Well, Steven, I do have one near me, but I prefer to shop on their online store because it's cheaper. So when I can, I try to use the Dick Blick website versus actually going there. It is cheaper.
Yes. Mortal Kombat reboot, huh?
I've been hearing about this forever. Why don't you just keep telling me about the Crow reboot that's never going to happen? Not the guy who did those webisodes was supposed to be making that thing.
Those weren't too bad. I liked them.
But what I'm saying is the guy who made this was supposed to be making that Mortal Kombat reboot. So did it not happen, or is this regurgitating out the same press release?
What's Rogue One?
It's a new Star Wars movie. It's the one where they steal the Death Star plans. They're making that right now.
Oh.
Did you see the teaser trailer for that? With the giant Death Star above.
Mm.
Yeah, it's cool. They're out there filming it now. Some pictures showed up of guys in Stormtrooper outfits. So it's all cool because it's like original trilogy tech, you know?
Mm.
Nah, I don't really watch Dragon Ball, man. You know? Love the artist, like Chrono Trigger, you know? But Dragon Ball, sitting around with power levels, not my thing. Remember people used to tell me how great the animation was when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch this. And I watched it, I'm like, I don't get it. I didn't think it was better than Akira, you know? So it wasn't really my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was more into like Akira and Evangelion and Ninja Scroll. But I hear it's pretty good, so if you're a fan of Dragon Ball Z, then that's cool, you know? The new Dragon Ball Z anime movie. So I'm all cool with that shit being good, you know? It's just not my thing. I did get to watch the new Little Witch Academy short that Trigger put out. That was awesome.
I just remembered I backed Cannon Busters. I think, but I haven't gotten an update on that, so maybe I didn't.
They're making it.
Oh no, Jessica. I think Jessica backed it.
They're making it. We'll see if we can understand a look of the story. I never could.
I had no idea.
But Sean's, I think, is the only guy who understood what the hell's going on. To this day, I don't know. He's like, he tells me it's this kingdom, and I'm like, there's a kingdom. Like, I was like, that's amazing. I didn't know that. I can't tell what's going on because one drawing there's cars, and there's like Western outposts, and then I think there was a castle and some airship. I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in there, man. It just always looked cool, you know?
Right.
Have you ever tried reading steampunk? Like, remember the Chris Bachalo?
Oh yeah.
Did Morrison write that? Was that Morrison?
I don't
Who wrote that? Was it Joe Kelly or was it Morrison? Look that up right now. Look it up. I gotta know. I gotta know. Yeah, Akira Toriyama, I love his art, man. I'm not gonna lie. I like seeing all the classic Dragon Quest art when he colored it with markers, and the Dragon Ball Z art when he colored it with markers. I love the art, man. Big fan. Huge fan. Blue Dragon. I would love nothing more. I mean, that's why I can't wait for Dragon Quest 11. I want to see Akira Toriyama's artwork in HD, you know? I would love nothing more than to get more Akira Toriyama stuff, you know? So I'm all for it. Put it that way. The anime just wasn't my thing.
It was written by Joe Kelly.
Joe Kelly, right? Yeah. Can you tell me what's going on in that thing? If you've ever tried to read that book, man, I cannot figure it out.
Pretty to look at.
There are Comic Cons in Dallas. I don't even go to San Diego Comic Con, so it's not like you're missing out, man. You know. I might go next year if I do some stuff with IDW, but I don't know. Chomping at the bit to draw a bunch of Skylanders covers. I'm like, well, maybe if I hook them up, that'll lead to bigger and better things. I don't know what, you know.
Right.
Wouldn't mind drawing some Edgar Scissorhands shit, but the problem is they don't see me as a goth artist. You know, I have to really push for that. And I don't want to push for anything. do, 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 do. Mhm. Yeah, I don't even leave my room. Well, that's not true. I walk. I had to take a couple days off though. Yeah, can't walk every day, man. Like, starting to feel like I need to stop. I don't think I should have drawn that line, but whatever. Can always delete it later.
All right. I'm gonna head to bed. You want to hit me up tomorrow?
Sure.
All right. I emailed you the world map, which she has so far.
All right, Steven, take it easy. Okay, cool, Brandon. Wait, you emailed it to me now?
No, I already did. I sent it to my story at. Almost said
Let
that
me
out
look
loud.
at that. You too, dude. Yeah, that's getting there. Kind of. To start.
All right.
Does she know that the... Oh, that's like... I see. I see what she's doing. She's blocking in.
I think she's just getting all the places ready and the spacing, and then gonna build up from there, I guess. But
Yeah, I would just... Right. Yeah, I mean, it's not totally off. It's just... want to make sure she's not focusing too much on all those rocks and stuff right now.
Mhm.
You know? But yeah, I know. And then the thing at the top, Slimedonia, Golem Reich, sorry, Golem Reich, those need to be a little bit more yin-yangy.
Gotcha.
They're intentionally designed that way. So,
All right, I'll tell her.
and then the way she cut the waterways in the center, it's probably, I don't know, might be too much. Those are just supposed to be little rivers. She doesn't actually have to separate those land masses like that. We can build up
Mhm.
on top. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to work that out yet. I'll dig into it. Just tell her to work on the Butter Bay thing, and I'll start to get notes on this. Don't tell her none yet. All right. Just say,
Okay.
hey, say it's looking good. Just focus on the Butter Bay thing, and then I'll.
Gotcha.
I don't want her killing herself on this. Just low poly. Tell her low poly.
Okay.
This is more of the path and shape thing. And if she doesn't know, she should tell her to go practice, pull up Warcraft, and build a couple things. Okay.
Mm. All right.
So cool beans.
All right. Hit me up tomorrow.
Later.
Late.
I got about 30 minutes anyway. I'll have to finish drawing this in the morning. Hmm. No, that's not gonna work. Time is it? 11:36. It's getting there. All right, I'm gonna have to finish this in the morning. It is 11:40, and I have to start packing up for bed. So I'll be back on tomorrow around 8, between 8 and 8:30. No, 8:39. No, 9. Sorry, 9 a.m. tomorrow, Pacific time, and we'll get this knocked out. Thanks for hanging out. Talk later. Bye.